What's good, Internet? My name is Attack Slug, and welcome to some research and testing here on YouTube. I thought I would play this video game, this wrestling video game, but not put anything wrestling in the tag, the title, or the description, because I need to know, is the YouTube machine smart enough to know that I'm playing a wrestling game, and do they hate wrestling and want nobody to be doing wrestling here on YouTube? So I thought you guys might like to know where I'm currently at, trying to get back to where I was in the 2K17. I had to start back from the bottom in my career, and I am still making my way up, so it looks like a feud with Seth Rollins is in order, and perhaps a fatal four-way in this video. Now, this is essentially research and testing for me, so I'm calling the video Research and Testing, which is so generic. Actually, let's try a post-match interview run in here on Rollins and attempt to trigger the feud that way, because I'm honestly so tired of doing the promos in this game. So if you are not familiar, right now, YouTube, from what I've heard from the reps at YouTube and from, what I've heard from the inside, because, I got people that know people, is that they're training an AI. They're training what they call the machine to scan through videos and see if the content is something that advertisers might want or might not want. In general, not want. And from what I can tell from my own personal evidence, is that they do not want foul language. And, alright, sure, fair enough, you don't want it, that's fine. Never mind that, there's plenty of that all over the place, everywhere else, and that there are plenty of shows that have, look, South Park, said a very bad word 166 times on cable TV, and had plenty of advertisers. That is one of the most wanted advertising spots on TV is South Park. So is The Walking Dead. And they will throw out some occasional cursing on their show. So, I don't buy that argument, but it is what it is. And if I have to evolve my language to have a larger vocabulary, that's fine. I'll do that. That's not a big deal. I don't think what I do here, talking about wrestling, hinges upon my ability to use that kind of language. But, if the word wrestling, if me literally saying wrestling is the problem, then that is a larger issue. And I can tell you from personal experience, when it comes to language, I did that video last week with Super Mario Maker about, it was the 100% PG, blah, blah, blah. First of all, that whole thing was satire. That was the whole point, was me complaining about this system and testing it out, right? So, that video, full disclosure, that video did 1,000 views as of right now and made $1, right? That is more or less in line with what YouTube CPM is considered to be normal. $1 for 1,000 views is more or less normal, right? Now, that same week, or that same weekend, so to speak, we put up Perplexing Pixels, and that was Yooka-Laylee, which is a very PG game, based on, very much, thanks Del Rio, very much, a Banjo-Kazooie type N64 3D platforming, whatever, right? Zack Ryder, you didn't do anything. I'm sorry, Zack Ryder, you are the worst. You did nothing there to deserve being like, woo, woo, woo. You know it, Rusev. You know it. So, we did Yooka-Laylee, and we obviously did our usual bit of language, and it was pretty foul, etc., right? Okay, sure, fine. Zack Ryder, how about you get top rope? Boom. And that video did 2,000 views and made 20 cents. Therefore, being like, okay, 1,000 views for videos where you curse is 10 cents. That is a tenth of the money just because of a difference in the language. So clearly, that's a problem. That's an easy enough problem to fix on my end. Either I can just talk better, have a higher level of vocabulary, or conversely, whenever I do happen to utter any of the words that the advertisers do not want to advertise with, I can just mute the audio. Now, I'd like to think, even if this machine is smart enough to be able to scan for what I am vocally saying here on YouTube, and obviously there is a closed captioning system in place, and you would imagine that closed captioning system picks up the bad words and then says, flag this video. But I do not think that there is a computer here on YouTube smart enough to read lips. So if I just blank out what I'm saying, then hey, for all they know, I'm pausing. I'm pausing in my speech. And that gap in the audio for my speech, not the game audio, my audio, wouldn't make a difference. And I am definitely going to test that in a future video here on this channel. I'm going to curse like a sailor. I'm going to blank out all the different parts where I curse, and we will see if that video gets flagged or not. And it'll be a PG game like Mario Maker or whatever else. But the crux of this video is to say, well, can YouTube, can their machine recognize that this is 2K17? Can the machine pick up the word wrestling, pick up the word 2K17, pick up the word WWE, any of that? Can that get picked up? Will that get picked up? And will this video, say, do 1,000 views and make 10 cents? Because if it does, then I don't know. I honestly, legitimately don't know how to react at that point if they are that gung-ho on, well, you can't have wrestling, or you can't make any money on wrestling. And again, like, I'm gonna do it anyway. Like, you literally can't stop me. So, whatever, Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do here on this channel, as I always have, since day one. But, was that it? Oh, I wanted to do the... Alright, sure. Okay, Seth. I wanted to do more cool stuff. Moving on to SmackDown. Here's Del Rio. Again. Also, I didn't get into a Seth Rollins feud, so what's the point of even attacking him backstage if you won't actually put me into a feud with him? So now, I gotta do the boring thing of going to the promo system and then going and cutting a promo against Seth Rollins, because apparently attacking him backstage was not enough, because that makes so much sense. Because the bottom line is this. YouTube won't tell us, YouTubers, us content creators, anything. They won't tell us what this machine is or isn't looking for. So I have to do these silly experiment videos to see if the machine can see this. I have another one in the pipeline where I'm going to play a very, very violent game and keep my language 100% clean and see if the machine picks up that I'm playing a violent game, even if I'm not actually tagging it in the metadata, which is the tag, the title, and the description. Now, I'm not going to do misleading tags or titles or descriptions. I'm sure that's a route you could go down. You could say play GTA and tag it as, Zelda or something. That you could do that. I wouldn't, but new era. A new era, a new age. I haven't been giving... Yeah, that was a terrible choice. That was a terrible choice. I don't really care. So, get out here. About to win the lottery here, Seth Rollins. I'm about to just call him out and see if he shows up. There he is. Rebuild, reclaim, etc., etc. And then he's going to say one thing to me. I'm going to be like, you know what, Seth? That's too bad because we're feuding and I'm going to fight you. Basically. Bop, bop. That's not PG. Anyhow, yes, that's kind of where I'm at on this whole entire situation. It's frustrating. Because if I knew what I should or shouldn't do, then I could adjust my content or, whatever else appropriately. But YouTube is very secretive, and I just don't know. And that's frustrating. So here's hoping that I can do 2 or 3 different experiments, testing and research here on this channel. And then with that, I can kind of get a good feel for what works and what doesn't work. and then adjust myself accordingly. I can only imagine that if you're playing M-rated video games, like say Grand Theft Auto, and you've based your whole channel on that, and advertisers don't want to put their videos on that, how screwed are you right now? How much of a disadvantage do you have creating content that people are watching and want to watch, and advertisers have decided, no, we don't want that? And it's bafflingly amazing to me, because when you consider two of these shows on TV that have advertisers fighting and bidding each other out for ads to play in front of, say, The Walking Dead, the biggest show on cable, and South Park, one of the biggest shows on cable, and they fight to get those ad spots. Those are very lucrative and valuable ad spots for the 18 to 35 demographic, and those advertisers get that, you know, and you can't tell me that Walking Dead isn't a super, super violent show, but you couldn't do Walking Dead here on YouTube, it wouldn't make any money. So, those are fine for network TV, but apparently the standard here on YouTube, the standards is you gotta be the Teletubbies. You have to be Barney here on YouTube. Be like, I love you, you love me. That kind of nonsense, and that's the only thing that advertisers actually want to see here on the internet, apparently. Because, that's just the way things look right now, and it's frustrating. It's not going to stop me in any real capacity, but I'm just trying to learn what is good and what is not good. For example, this week on Perplexing Pixels, we played Roblox, and we watched our language, because that game is rated E for everyone, and theoretically, if the game's rated E and our language is PG, then that video should do alright. Now, next week, we are playing Outlast 2, a horror game that is rated M for mature, and I'm sure that advertisers are going to say, no, that game's rated M for mature, don't put any ads on that stuff. So you know what? It doesn't matter. We can use any language we like playing Outlast 2 because it wasn't going to make those ad revenue dollars anyway. So that can do, you know, a couple of thousand and make a quarter, whatever. Again, it's not going to stop me, but I'm not going to sit back and relax while everything goes down the tubes, as YouTube potentially does not want wrestling on their network. Anyway, I'm Attack Slug. Thanks for watching the first bit of testing and research. I got I think 2 more of these I'm going to kind of put out there at some point this weekend or this week or whatever. Please watch those, please, because I have to know, is this going to affect what I do moving forward, or is the machine not smart enough to know what game I'm playing if I don't tell it what game I'm playing? So, in any event, thanks for watching. More videos every day, and I'll see you next time, right here on this channel, and I'm out.